letting customers in the door once, but then you never see them again? You offer a service that can be utilized repeatedly, and yet you're noticing most aren't coming back, which leaves you constantly having to chase new customers and having an inconsistent, unpredictable income. This video will change that for you today. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for the last 13 years, so I've used a lot of different strategies and different business models over the years. I've experienced what works versus what doesn't in different scenarios, at different experience levels, and in multiple situations. I've been a childcare provider just starting out with no other daycare kids, i.e. what they call social proof, and found a way to cut through the noise to become in demand. I've been the new cosmetologist in the salon amongst other extremely experienced stylists, taking the clients nobody else wanted and finding a niche that made me the go-to in that salon for that specific thing. Or better yet, how about being the realtor competing for a $3 million listing when at the time I hadn't listed anything over $240,000 and even getting that listing. So yeah, if I don't know anything else, I know a thing or two about turning one-time customers into loyal clients. So if you're tired of wondering why customers don't come back to you or why they chose someone else after experiencing you and your services, then stick around. Hey y'all, hey, it's Chameleon K, and today I'm going to break down some of the things in business that have helped me create raving fans against all odds. Although I teach service business owners how to turn their services into a subscription or membership based model, it wouldn't even be an option without what I'm about to tell you now. So let's get into it. I'm going to go over how to give white glove service, ways to make customers feel like it's all about them, using effective communication to your advantage, how to make yourself invaluable or irreplaceable, and the key to using surveys and asking questions. We're going to get right into it. How to give white glove service. Giving white glove service is all about creating an experience for your customer, going above and beyond the usual, and actually wowing them. If you want to go all out financially to create this, I'm not against it if that's what you want to do. But if you are at a point in business where it makes sense to spend more than what is necessary, or if you like to take a more frugal approach, then you may want to listen up, because you don't even have to do all that. This can easily be achieved by adding things to your already rendered service that won't cost much or won't take too much more of your time, but still won't go unnoticed by a new customer. I'll even give you some examples. So let's say you're a childcare provider, and I can intelligently speak to this firsthand because I was once, in fact, a childcare provider. And these are a few of the things I did. But okay, you're a childcare provider and you notice that all the other childcare providers do the basics, such as, the typical curriculum, the outdoor requirements, the playtime, etc., right? So in this scenario, how do you stand out? How do you wow a client at first chance just by existing? See, if you're offering the same thing as everyone else, then nothing makes you special. But if you do what I did and look for the things they aren't offering, you'll easily make a great first impression and stand out without effort. So let me tell you one of the things I did that made me different. In addition to the basics that everyone else offered, I hired a yoga teacher, a Tumblr teacher, a Spanish teacher, and a few more that came out weekly for their specials. Parents loved it. It didn't cost much, if anything. It was during the times they were supposed to be learning something anyway, and I was the only one offering it. Keep in mind, this is just one thing I did amongst other things that made me stand out. And in this one thing I worked into my childcare, I created an experience that wowed my clients, i.e. in this situation were the parents. I under-promised with a curriculum and over-delivered with the things I added in addition to that curriculum, amongst other things that I don't have time to discuss. This alone can get you repeat customers, turning them into loyal, committed clients. But I have more. Next, I'm going to talk about ways to make your customers feel like it's all about them. And one of the first and easiest ways to accomplish this is by giving them uninterrupted, undivided attention when you're servicing or talking to them. It's nothing worse than being serviced and the person servicing you is repeatedly getting up to do frivolous things, having constant interruptions in the middle of your service, or being told a service takes 2 hours and it either takes longer because you were doing other things, or a customer leaving feeling like they didn't get their money's worth because you were being distracted during their time with you. Now, if this happens to be the nature of your business or the way you plan to run your business, then there's a way to get ahead of this so that a customer isn't feeling left disappointed or unsatisfied with how you showed up. And if that is the case, make sure you stay tuned because I'll be telling you how to handle that later in this video. Another way you can make clients feel like it's all about them is through your demeanor whenever you come into contact with them. So think about how you come off when you speak to customers. When you interact with customers, are you always pleasant? Do they leave feeling like you're always happy to see or hear from them? I literally always greet my customers in an upbeat, happy tone of voice. No matter how many times I've spoken to them, no matter how many times they've called, I literally have my clients feeling like they're the only one just because of how excited I come off or appear to be to hear from them. Y'all, people in my personal life laugh at how I talk to clients when they hear it because it's not how I am all the time, but it's a client. I've even heard comments like, you don't talk to me like that. But anyway, another way is you can also make a customer feel like it's all about them by simply catering to them during their time with you. And this can be done by just making sure they're comfortable during a service or paying close attention and noticing anything that could be signaling a concern or signs of discomfort. Like things as small as noticing signs that they're cold, so you adjust the temperature or offer a blanket. Maybe you offer a service that takes a long time, so you offer snacks or beverages, just things like that. In other words, simply put, read the room. Last but definitely not least, you can make customers feel it's all about them by simply showing appreciation. Now, I have so many ideas surrounding this, but I can't fit it here. Maybe I'll use it as a feature video idea, but for now, just say thank you. And whatever way you see fit, I don't care how you say it, just make sure you do and make sure they feel appreciated in some way. Now on to my next point. Another way you can turn customers into loyal clients is by using effective communication. Remember earlier in this video when I said if interruptions during someone's service is the nature of your business, there's a way to get ahead of it so you don't end up with an unsatisfied client? Well, this is it. You have to set expectations ahead of time. Don't let people come to you expecting one thing and leave with a whole different experience in a negative way, because they are going to talk about you and it won't be in a good way either. So how you get ahead of this is by being upfront about anything that can be perceived as negative, and that will give them the choice on whether they choose to proceed with you or not, based on full knowledge and prior expectations set upfront by you. As long as you allow them to make the choice, and a lot of times as long as it's communicated without things just being thrown at them, it prevents dissatisfaction and negative emotions. You might even put these types of things on your booking page, website, or landing page. Another big way to use effective communication is by setting boundaries. If you make your boundaries clear, instead of assuming a customer just knows what they are, then it'll create a pleasant experience for both you and the customer you're servicing. It can be uncomfortable for you to have to set a boundary later after it has been crossed, when that boundary could have been expressed up front, like maybe grace periods, things that you find acceptable versus things you don't, but maybe others in your industry deal with, and things like that. This one thing can save a whole client relationship, so please be clear. Effective communication also includes being proactive with anything you can see that has the potential to be a problem later. It's better to control potentially negative situations before they get out of hand or become negative. So if you see something becoming a pattern in your business, or you're noticing a certain repeat behavior in multiple customers, get to the root cause and change the direction it's going before it becomes a huge problem. You can also display effective communication by checking in with customers and making them feel heard. Ask customers if you're meeting their needs in the end term of service, and then actually, you guessed it, listen. Okay, don't ask them just to be asking. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Actually listen to their response. Another way to effectively communicate is by maintaining regular contact. This can be via email with value, or just keeping them in the loop on whatever's going on. And depending on your business, this can also be in the form of phone calls to let clients know what to expect next, or what's happening with the service you're providing. And sometimes it's just to touch base and stay top of mind. The next way to turn customers into loyal clients is one I don't hear a lot of people talking about often, and that is by making yourself and your service invaluable and irreplaceable. You do this by doing what no one else does and being what no one else is. Offer a level of service or differentiate yourself in such a way that no one can duplicate it. First, become extremely knowledgeable in whatever you do, and never be too proud to be a student, because things change and you need to always be willing to adapt. Keeping your ear to the streets regarding what's going on in your industry is one of the best ways to stay ahead of the changes happening. Also, continuously perfect your craft. Nobody's perfect, so there's always room for improvement. Look for the things you could be better at, brainstorm things that will improve whatever that is, and implement those changes. Next, being invaluable can be reflected in your offerings. Offer things to your customers or clients that are a little outside of the box, or that isn't considered typical in your industry. For example, if you're a hairdresser, maybe instead of a basic shampoo, you actually give a head spa experience. Or if you're a photographer for newborns, you come to their homes with all the props and equipment so that they don't have to bring their new babies out before they're ready. Now, I could go on and on, but I'm sure you get the picture by now. The next thing I'm going to talk about today is the key to using surveys and asking questions. Surveys are a great way to find out what your clients really think about you and your services. And it's also a good way to find out ways you can improve. They also give you the opportunity to ask questions customers may not be honest about when talking to you face to face, or maybe they wouldn't be comfortable answering those questions honestly otherwise. Surveys can give you an idea about what your customers are missing, if anything, and if there's a common consensus about something that you need to fix or tweak to make your customers happy. Times that surveys should be given are right after a customer experiences you and your services, periodically if you're rendering ongoing service, or if a client decides to sever the business relationship with you. Collectively, all these things show that you care about their success or well-being beyond just the transaction, which ultimately gains trust and loyalty. If you enjoyed this video, I'll be deep diving into more entrepreneurship content in the coming weeks. Love y'all.
It's levels to be a boss, no matter how much it costs. I'm ready to spend it all, I'm really gonna jump it off. If anything, I've evolved, as long as money involved, then I'm already in course, already asking for more. I'm on top, make the rules, call the shots, show 'em I'm a lot, make it move, make it pop, show 'em I'm the baddest, this is true, I'm a savage, come get a view, I'm on top, make the rules, call the shots, show 'em